You notice that your vision has lost its former sharpness and memory sometimes seems hazy, especially in the evening. It's quite astonishing. The foods you consume before sleep can aid in restoring your eyes and recharging your brain overnight. Many people believe that deteriorating vision and weakening memory are inevitable consequences of aging, but research shows otherwise. These changes are not just the result of bodily wear, but are related to how cells cope with stress, energy provision, and recovery during sleep. In fact, your brain and retina, the thin layer at the back of the eye that captures light, are made of the same fatty tissue. Both require large reserves of energy, oxygen, and antioxidants. Without these, tiny capillaries weaken, oxidative stress accumulates, and over time, memory and vision begin to deteriorate. What happens in the body at night? When you sleep, the brain activates a process called glymphatic cleansing. This can be compared to a cleaning crew for your neurons. Damaged proteins, such as beta amyloid linked to Alzheimer's disease, are washed out of the tissues. At the same time, the retina uses dark hours to regenerate its light-sensitive cells. But this nightly process of restoration is only possible when the body has the necessary building blocks. Without proper nutrients, the cleaning will not be completed, and damage will accumulate. Now for the good news, some natural products, specifically 3 special types of dried fruits and nuts, contain concentrated substances that serve as fuel for the night recovery system. They are rich in polyphenols, healthy fats, and antioxidants that protect memory and directly nourish the tissues of the eyes and brain. Imagine this as support for the night shift, providing the visual cells and neurons with everything needed for repair. Why is this so important? Scientific research on aging is no longer limited to extending life, but focuses on prolonging the active period of health, which means a clear mind, sharp vision, and a resilient brain even at 60 to 70 years and beyond. Small intentional changes, like choosing the right foods before bed, can affect how your brain and eyes will function tomorrow morning, and even for decades. In this meeting, we will discuss all the steps in detail. I will tell you why these 3 dried fruits and nuts have unique power for your brain and eyes, how they act in the body during sleep, at what time, and in what quantities they are best consumed. We will discuss the science of antioxidants, blood flow, and hormonal balance that make this possible. Finally, I will show you how to integrate this into your evening ritual so that it becomes natural and habitual. By the end of the conversation, you will know not only which foods to eat, but also why they work. You will understand the exact physiology of how nutrients transform into clearer memory and sharper vision. So let's begin. When you close your eyes at night and immerse yourself in sleep, your body is not in a passive state at all. It begins one of the most active recovery processes of the day. At this moment, the brain and eyes are functioning particularly intensely, and what many do not consider is that the nutrients you receive before sleeping affect the efficiency of overnight recovery. Let's figure out what exactly happens inside the body. During deep sleep, the brain activates the so-called glymphatic system. Imagine street cleaners clearing the streets of the brain, removing damaged proteins, toxins, and metabolic waste. At the same time, the retina, located at the back of the eye, is busy repairing its light-sensitive cells, which are daily worn down by constant exposure to blue light, oxidative stress, and metabolic burdens. Both the brain and retina heavily rely on antioxidants, vitamins, and stable blood sugar levels to complete this process. Let me give a simple analogy. Imagine you decided to renovate your house at night. Workers arrive. But if building materials like wood, metal, and cement are not delivered, they cannot restore anything. The same happens if your evening diet lacks essential nutrients. Cleaners come, but the reconstruction does not begin. Over time, this can lead to memory deterioration, difficulties with recollections, and gradual loss of sharpness and vision. Studies show that both the brain and retina consume a vast amount of energy, given their small size. The brain makes up only about 2% of body mass, yet it consumes up to 20% of the body's total energy. The retina is even more metabolically active than the brain, making it particularly vulnerable to oxidative damage and nutrient depletion. If supplies are not replenished, destruction begins much earlier than it should. And here is the most interesting part. Scientific research has confirmed that certain compounds from natural products, such as polyphenols, flavonoids, vitamin E, and omega fatty acids, can cross the blood-brain barrier, and accumulate in the eye tissues. That is, what you eat nourishes not only muscles or the liver, but also directly the neurons and cells of the eyes. Dried fruits and nuts, due to their high concentration of beneficial substances, are especially effective for delivering these compounds during the hours when the brain and eyes are in recovery mode. The first important thought: if you want to have clear memory and sharp vision, consider evening meals as the foundation for nighttime restoration. It's crucial to take into account the timing, nutrient composition, and quality of sleep. All of this together creates a foundation for the actions of 3 dried fruits and nuts that we will discuss. Now let's turn our attention to the first hero of this process: almonds. At first glance, almonds may seem like a simple nut, but they are filled with a unique set of substances that are perfect for protecting the retina and preserving vision with age. So, what is happening in your eyes? The retina consists of millions of light-sensitive cells that capture light and convert it into electrical signals for the brain. These cells are quite vulnerable. Every day they face attacks from free radicals caused by light exposure and active metabolism. Over time, this oxidative stress weakens the retina and can lead to diseases such as age-related macular degeneration. Almonds are rich in vitamin E, one of the strongest fat-soluble antioxidants. Imagine that vitamin E is a protective barrier guarding cell membranes. Every time free radicals attempt to damage fats in retinal cells, vitamin E takes the hit, preventing further destruction. Research shows that people with high levels of vitamin E have a significantly lower risk of developing macular degeneration and cataracts. But that's not all. Almonds also contribute to improving microcirculation, enhancing blood flow in the smallest capillaries of the eyes. It is these vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients to the retina. If circulation slows down, the recovery processes stop. Healthy monounsaturated fats found in almonds help maintain vascular elasticity, reduce inflammation, and ensure that essential substances reach their destination. Now, about the connection to nighttime recovery. When you eat a small portion of almonds before sleep, you are essentially enriching your blood with antioxidants and healthy fats just before the retina begins its nighttime regeneration phase. Instead of waking up with new damage from oxidative stress, your eyes awaken, protected, nourished, and ready for a new day of visual demands. The research results are impressive. An article in the journal Ophthalmology noted that a diet rich in vitamin E slows the progression of age-related eye diseases by 25%, and almonds are one of the richest natural sources of this vitamin. How to use this in practice? Just 6 or 8 soaked almonds before bed will be enough. Soaking makes the nutrients more accessible for absorption. This is a small portion, as one shouldn't overload digestion at night. Consider this as an exact dose of protective compounds directed straight into the retina at the moment it is healing. In summary, almonds strengthen vision due to vitamin E antioxidants, improve vessel elasticity, and provide stable energy to retinal cells. It is a simple, natural, and very effective tool when used regularly. The second dried fruit I would like to draw attention to is the walnut. If almonds are a shield for your eyes, then walnuts are fuel for the brain. It is no coincidence that the nut externally resembles a miniature brain with 2 hemispheres and a wrinkled cortex. Nature often leaves us hints, and in this case, the resemblance is not merely symbolic. This is what actually happens in your brain when you sleep. It actively works on consolidating memory, transferring information from short-term storage to long-term. This process depends on the state of neuron membranes and the quality of the connections between them. If the membranes become rigid, inflamed, or depleted, the consolidation of memories becomes difficult. Walnuts contain a high amount of alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3. These fatty acids are essential for keeping neuron membranes flexible and healthy. Imagine a door hanging on hinges. Without lubrication, it creaks and opens poorly, but with oil, it moves smoothly. Omega-3 from walnuts serves as lubrication for neural connections, allowing electrical signals and memories to be transmitted clearly and freely, as confirmed by scientific research. The journal Nutrition, Health, and Aging published data indicating that higher walnut consumption is linked to improved cognitive functions, memory, concentration, and information processing speed, especially in older adults. Other clinical studies show that omega-3 improves synaptic plasticity, allowing the brain to form and strengthen new connections. However, walnuts provide not only omega-3, but also polyphenols and melatonin. Polyphenols help reduce inflammation and oxidative stress in the hippocampus, which is responsible for memory. Melatonin, a natural sleep hormone, aids in aligning the circadian rhythm, allowing the brain to enter deep sleep stages when memory consolidation occurs most effectively. Imagine a library where dozens of new books arrive daily. Your experiences, conversations, learning. At night, the library needs to be organized, but if the light is dim, the shelves are broken, and the air is dusty, the work will be difficult and incomplete. Walnuts repair shelves, turn on the light, and ensure order. How to apply this in practice? Just 2 or 3 halves of walnuts before bed are very nutritious, providing the brain with omega-3 and antioxidants without overloading digestion. It is better to consume them raw rather than fried to preserve the oils. Thus, walnuts improve memory, strengthen neuron membranes, reduce inflammation in the brain, support the hippocampus, and even promote better sleep due to natural melatonin. Now let's move on to the third dried fruit, raisins. At first glance, they may seem too simple compared to almonds and walnuts, but they contain a unique set of substances that support eye and brain health, aiding in nighttime recovery. What happens in the body? One of the main enemies of memory and vision is oxidative stress, which is exacerbated by unstable blood sugar levels. When blood sugar spikes and then drops, brain and retinal cells face an energy crisis. Oxidative stress adds to this, causing the fragile mitochondria in these cells to suffer, resulting in memory fog, decreased concentration, and rapid eye fatigue. Raisin addresses this issue in 2 ways. Firstly, raisins are a rich source of polyphenols, particularly quercetin and catechins. These substances act as powerful antioxidants, neutralizing free radicals before they can damage neurons or the retina. Imagine firefighters rushing to extinguish a spark before it flares into a fire. Secondly, raisins contain natural sugar and fructose in a harmonious combination with dietary fibers, ensuring a smooth and steady release of energy, unlike a sharp spike. Such a stable source of energy is especially important at night when the brain and eyes continue their active work, recovering. Studies show that polyphenol-rich foods like raisins reduce retinal damage and improve vascular condition. One study also emphasizes that moderate consumption of raisins helps control blood sugar levels and lowers blood pressure, which indirectly protects vulnerable blood vessels in the brain and eyes. A simple analogy will help you understand. Imagine you are participating in a night marathon. If energy comes in bursts, you are likely to fall halfway, but if you have a steady flow of fuel and support, you can reach the finish line. Raisins provide this flow of energy and antioxidant protection, helping the brain and eyes complete the night recovery cycle. How to use it? Just eat 5 to 7 raisins before bed. They create a gentle energy cushion for the night without overloading sugar levels. It's best to combine them with almonds and walnuts. Together they form a synergistic trio that impacts various aspects of brain and vision recovery, with raisins protecting sight and memory by reducing oxidative stress, stabilizing sugar levels, strengthening vessels, and energizing the most needy tissues. Now that you know the benefits of almonds, walnuts, and raisins individually, a true miracle occurs when you combine them with the right evening habits. Nutrition is powerful on its own, but when aligned with the body's natural circadian rhythms, the effect is multiplied many times over. What happens inside? The body recovers unevenly throughout the night with specific phases. In the first hours after falling asleep, there is a peak in growth hormone production. During this period, tissues, including the retina and neurons, undergo the most profound structural recovery. Later at night, the brain activates the glymphatic system, clearing toxins and damaged proteins. This means that from the moment of falling asleep until about 4 o'clock, the body is most in need of nutrients. If nuts and dried fruits are provided in time, the cells will receive everything they need precisely when they need it the most. How can this be implemented in practice? First, eat nuts and raisins 30 to 45 minutes before sleep. This will give the body time to digest and absorb. By the time of deep sleep, antioxidants, omega-3, and polyphenols will already be circulating in the blood. Secondly, soak almonds for 6 to 8 hours. Water activates enzyme inhibitors, making vitamin E and minerals more accessible. It's better to peel before consumption. Thirdly, combine walnuts with raisins. The former provides omega-3 for the brain, while the latter creates a smooth flow of energy. Together, they create a balance of nutrition and recovery. The fourth is to support hydration. A small glass of warm water or caffeine-free herbal tea helps improve nutrient transport and circulation. Avoid green and black tea before bed, as they suppress melatonin production. Fifth, optimize conditions for sleep. A dark, cool, and quiet bedroom promotes natural melatonin production, enhancing the effect already present in walnuts. Even if you consume the right foods, spending time on your phone screen before bed causes you to lose half of their benefits. Scientific studies confirm this. The combination of nutrients and habits aligned with biological rhythms creates a synergistic effect. The magazine Nutriounds shows that taking antioxidants in the evening combined with deep sleep significantly improves cognitive recovery compared to nutrition or sleep alone. Imagine building a platform at night where nuts and raisins are the building materials. But if chaos reigns on the site, with poor lighting and noise, the workers will not be able to effectively use these materials. Good sleep habits are order and light, allowing construction teams to complete their work. The conclusion is that almonds, walnuts, and raisins provide the raw materials for recovery, but it is the evening habits that determine how well the body can utilize these materials. Combine one thing with another, and you will get a powerful ritual that strengthens vision and memory each night, following a step-by-step protocol. First, prepare almonds in advance, soaking 6 to 8 nuts in a glass of water in the morning, so by evening the skins come off easier and vitamin E is better absorbed. Second, add walnuts. 2 to 3 halves of raw nuts will provide the brain with omega-3 and polyphenols. No more is needed. They are quite nutritious. Third, include raisins. Take 5 to 7 berries. This is a gentle flow of energy without a sharp spike in sugar, perfectly combining with the fats from the walnuts. Fourth, choose the right time. Eat all this 30 to 45 minutes before sleep. If you eat later, digestion will distract the body from recovery, and if too early, energy will run out before deep sleep. Fifth, create a comfortable environment. Dim the lights, remove gadgets, air out the room, and drink some warm water or herbal tea. Be consistent. True strength lies in regularity. One evening won't yield significant results, but perfect regularity will help your mind and eyes become stronger and more resilient. It's not about one-time use, but about consistency and rhythm. Just like a plant cannot be watered all at once, it needs to be watered evenly. Your brain and eyes require gentle, constant nourishment. Thus, we have covered all aspects. Your eyes and brain are the most demanding organs, working around the clock. It is at night that they recover most deeply. The retina regenerates cells, the brain detoxifies and stores memories. But they need fuel for this. Almonds provide vitamin E and healthy fats, protecting the retina, while walnuts supply omega-3 and melatonin, strengthening neurons and enhancing memory. Raisins provide polyphenols and gentle energy, helping to stabilize blood sugar and protect vessels. When these 3 components are combined with the right evening rituals, they become the foundation for recovery. You don't just eat food, you tune your body for morning awakening with a clear mind, sharp perception, and a surge of energy. Look at the situation from a long-term perspective. Instead of resigning yourself to the deterioration of memory and vision, you slow these processes and even restore early damage. You safeguard your independence, clarity of thought, and creative potential for many years to come. I challenge you to prepare this combination tonight. 6 to 8 soaked almonds, 2 to 3 halves of walnuts, and 5 to 7 raisins. Consume them half an hour before sleep and observe the changes over the next few weeks. Notice the clarity of thoughts in the mornings, improved vision, and the ability to focus. Small steps each night create a cumulative effect. Every night is an opportunity to recover, renew, and recharge with vitality. With the right foods and habits, you guide your body towards the health and energy it is meant for.